Welcome back to Yanks Abroad, just moments after a Pochettino win. The U.S. win 2-0 against Japan, and it's a nice sight to see. It's amazing what can happen when you get the most important players in the areas of the pitch that they are most impactful. And I know there's a lot of talk about formation change and all these things, but it's really not that different from what we've been trying to do. You're just starting in your in-possession formation, if you will, right? Like, we've talked about this now on this channel for almost a year. What did Pochettino get hired? October of last year, or his first camp was October of last year, right? This looks pretty familiar to what we've been talking about, right? Like, you're building up with three at the back. You're getting high and wide center backs. You've got a double pivot. Then you've got double tens and, one wing back, in this case, two wing backs getting high and a striker. That's all it was. The difference is your three at the back and build up is three center backs. Now, I've got a lot of takes and opinions about how this can be maximized with the best amount of talent that we have in multiple different ways. But it worked in this situation. Against Japan's backups, it worked. And I'm going to tell you and explain why, but we're going to start with our instant reaction. And man, on another day, we could have scored 6. I mean, Balogun early could have had 2. McGlynn, who I am a huge fan of, showed what he could do. That should have been a goal. Downs and Dest both nearly had goals laid on. Great saves by the Japan keeper, who made 8 saves in this match. He was spectacular, but just shows what we can do when we string it all together. There's just no doubt about it. I mean, let's start with Pulisic. This is the kind of match that I love to see out of Christian Pulisic. The fact that he's so willing to get involved in build-up and put a mark on this match in a way that maybe we hadn't seen him do for the U.S. in a long time. We've seen him spend a lot of time out here on the left wing, cutting in, scoring from this angle. But you know what? This team is actually calling for something else out of him. It's calling out of a player who can assist in build-up when we struggle to start from deep, who can be the link player between that back 3, 5, 7, however many it may be in possession. It's really 6. And then can carry that ball forward and create for his attackers. And he did that throughout the match. It was interesting, the way that Japan pressed us, right? So let's say we're starting from a goal kick, because I think that's just an easy way to describe it here. You either started with Richards or Freeze here. The numbers aren't exactly right, but Richards or Freeze here. The ball is played out wide. Japan was pressing like this, right? Eventually, we tried to get the ball all the way out here to Ream, and when we did, and this player tried to close down here, this player would step to here. You'd have their 2 midfielders step to our 2 midfielders. Pulisic did a spectacular job of getting right in this left half space, receiving. And by the time he received, and this player was trying to get to him, the amount of times he got the ball in the half turn going this way was spectacular. Then you have what we've been trying to create, mini transitions. Again, just because the formation on paper looks different, the concepts of what Pochettino is trying to do remain the same. And to me, why I have not fully given up on Pochettino the way many have is because I can see that this is still what he's trying to do. He is not abandoning his technical philosophy. He's not abandoning his tactics. He's trying to implement them the best that he can with the players that he has. And this was another example, I think similarly to a game or two we saw this summer, where he was able to get those players in the key positions that allow his tactics to be exploited. And exploited, I'm saying, in the good way. His tactics to work, to present themselves on the pitch. When Pulisic gets into these areas, you've now taken these 5 players out of the game. What it then allows a team that is playing even with a back 3, you have your overlapping fullback on both sides. So they're going to take out their overlapping fullbacks. So now you're talking about, in these mini transitions, 3 running at 3. And the amount of times that created goal scoring opportunities was innumerable. It was almost always the situation. And when Diego Luna came on, it was very similar. He came and dropped into that area and created the same thing. And again, I don't mean to keep going back to this, but I think there's going to be so much talk about it. We need to play a back 5. We need to play a back 5. It has nothing to do with playing a back 5. The same concept of a back 3 in possession where you can create mini transitions by having our center backs get high and wide, right? This is Ream, this is Richard. So you could create the same thing on this side. You didn't have a player as that type of player, and also like on this side. So what happens is So I'm getting a little off track, but what happens is you kind of had rolled on as this kind of deepest player. It's a double pivot, but a lot of ways, there's a little mini diamond getting created here. And so on the right-hand side, this is Adams, right? Adams is not going to get into this half space and turn and run. Like, let's say this happens the opposite way. And there's a reason why Richards, or whoever the center back was taking this goal kick, and why the play went this way first. The idea is to get your best passer, Tim Ream, in the position to play this pass. Now, if you had Richards out here, and you had, let's say it's Mark McKenzie, or it could be Tanner Tessman. I have a lot of ideas about this, and I'm going to talk about it later in the video. But then, yes, this player, you probably drop Tyler Adams into this central area, and then this is probably Weston McKennie. If I had to guess, it could be Yunus Musa. I think it could be Jack McGlynn. It could be Diego Luna. It could be Malik Tillman. It could be a whole host of players, but depending on who the opponent is. But anyway, they're pressing in this 5. It gets out to Ream. They're covering 2, right? And Pulisic's driving forward. Now you've got this 3-on-3 with Pulisic. You've got Pulisic, Zendejas, and Balogun. It's really a 5-on-5 because these players are very much in the play. As we saw, Arfsen and Pulisic a lot of times. So this player is now trying to track back a little bit. You're able to play a ball into Arfsen, and Pulisic's overlapping this way. Pulisic drives this way into Zendejas. Zendejas drags this player a little bit deeper. You get the ball out wide to Alex Freeman. The play I like the most that works a lot and resulted in Balogun's goal is this little play where you kind of pin this defender on Balogun. So Pulisic's kind of driving. Balogun's kind of moving this way. This defender's dropping. This defender's trying to drop. Then the second this defender decides to step to the ball, this defender's a little bit too far behind Balogun. The ball's played in behind. Balogun scored his goal. It's that simple. When you can create not even odd man opportunities, but equal man opportunities, which is all this is, right? That's the whole thing about the extra man and build-up. If you can use the extra man and build-up, at least pseudo use him, then you can create these types of opportunities when you can get your best players into positions where they can operate. And that's what this formation allowed us to do. Now, again, I will go back to this over and over again. We're not talking about anything super different than this. This is very similar. And this is just a random tab I have up of players, but this is really the same thing, right? Right? Like, don't pay too much attention to the player names, but you get the concept here. This right here is not wildly different from this right here. It's a little different, but that's just kind of in the way that I'm presenting it. Like, again, and we can go over to this tactical board. All right, keep this image in your mind because I don't have the setup to do both at the same time. So you've got this kind of 3-2-4-1. Now, we're going to go back to the way that the buildup was created, right? Here's your 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's your 2. Here's your 4, and here's your 1. Right? What's happening is just this player's dropping in, and then you're adding the extra man and buildup. But this is the base formation. It's all the same. Don't buy all the media and all these guys on TNT and Fox and Dan Donovan and like they're gonna tell you, maybe we have to play a back 5. Like nothing is changing. Watch us defend. It's not like there's a flat 5 sitting back there. Alex Freeman or Arfsen was always a little bit higher, if not both of them being a little bit higher. Yeah, maybe we're defending with 3 center backs, but that's not what made the difference in this match. What made the difference was on the ball. That's what made the difference. Anyways, moving on. Chris Richards. I would probably say not his best game of the last 12 months, club or country. To me, the biggest limitation of this 5 at the back is Chris Richards can't be the center back because we saw it once in this game. What Chris Richards likes to do out here is he gets very wide, and as this player tries to close down, he's able to make this pass into here. But when he's here and he tries to get this angle, if this player doesn't show enough, or even if this player does show, this player can step into this passing lane. And it happened. And Chris Richards is a very talented passer, and this is a pass he has. But when the center back makes this pass and he gets a little wide and makes this ball in here, I mean, we saw it almost happen. This gets intercepted. This player plays this pass into here, and I mean, Tim Ream made an excellent job to recover, but it can be a goal. And Chris Richards made a mistake. I'm not saying he didn't make a mistake, but we're limiting him by playing him as a center back. I'd much rather see Mark McKenzie as the center back, who is a spectacular passer with both feet, but not on the ground. He doesn't play the ball on the ground a lot. those balls over the top, you're not as much danger as a center back. Chris Richards wants to play that ball on the ground. He wants to play those hard bouncing balls into breaking the lines. I think that's probably the plan. Like, Tristan Blackman's not the plan. I'm not gonna even talk about Tristan Blackman. Like, I think I was too hyper focused on whatever. Tristan Blackman is not gonna be in the next squad. Good for him. He got to play 2 matches. I can't imagine he's in the conversation. I mean, I think the way that Pochettino is seeing this right now, it's probably Mark McKenzie, Tim Ream, and it could be Joe Scally, could be an extra center back that's brought. I mean, I'd like to see Noah Kai Banks get another chance. The fact that he didn't get a minute doesn't make me thrilled. I think he's battling a little bit of an injury, but this was the quote-unquote last chance to see anybody. So we're going to have to see what that means for Noah Kai Banks. Flo Balogun, I mean, truly just what a world's difference it is playing with someone like Flo Balogun up top. And again, the Josh Sargent lovers, and there was someone in my comments, please keep them coming, by the way. I love the Josh Sargent comments. Was like, you don't know anything about Josh Sargent. Watch this match and watch the last match. What Flo Balogun offers out of possession when we are in possession, so off the ball, the way he moves, the way that he moves and shifts the defense. Every time he makes a run into the channel, a defender's going with him. Maybe 2 defenders are going with him. It completely opens up the way that we play. He's intentional and works hard in every bit of running he does off the ball in possession. And I'm not saying that Josh Sargent isn't good movement, but his movements are a little bit more subtle. They're more goal-scoring movements rather than movements to help the team open up. I mean, yeah, Balogun is a little rusty still. I still think his goal-scoring form is a little bit rusty. He has not played a lot in the last year. Did end up getting a goal, a very well-taken goal. He should have had 2 or 3, but just by the numbers. 4 shots, 17 of 19 passing. Yes, the 2 big chances missed. I already mentioned that. That was frustrating. 9 touches in the opposition box. He's just always around. He hangs around on the back shoulder. And I showed it here. But just again, like on that goal, what he does so well is he times the run, right? Pulisic is driving with this ball. This defender is caught right here. Balogun already kind of has this defender pinned. And he just waits. The second this defender makes a step towards Pulisic, the second, Balogun's gone. He's there. And once he gets the inside here, even if this defender is step for step, the defender can't step in front of him. The ball's rolling, can't step in front of him, and Balogun is going to take that chance. And that's the difference. That is truly the difference in what he offers. I mean, physically, athletically, it goes without saying, but just a really, really solid performance for Flo Balogun, and one he needed. Because not only has he not played a bunch in the last year, but to me, I think Ricardo Pepi is maybe still Pochettino's number 1 option when he's fit. So there's going to be a big battle between these two now in October, assuming they're both fit, and moving forward. So that will be a lot of fun to watch. Zendejas. I was not expecting to enjoy watching Zendejas, and the great goal obviously really made up for it. But man, I love the way that he ran off the ball. Out of possession, when we were pressing, he is the kind of player, if you remember from my last video, we were really struggling in second balls and winning the ball high up the pitch. I mean, Zendejas must have won the ball high up the pitch 4 or 5 times in that first half. One which resulted in what should have been Balogun's goal to open the scoring. I think another one that nearly resulted in his own goal and a Pulisic goal. I mean, he had one very sloppy challenge that could have been a red card on another day. But we need one press trigger like that. And it's going to be Malik Tillman. And I'm not sure where the space is in the squad for Zendejas. Right now, I don't have him in the squad. I don't have him as one of my last 4 out. Make sure to hit that subscribe button because before club football comes back, we are going to do another stock watch like we did after the Gold Cup. Who's in, who's out, tiers, the whole thing. So make sure to, hit subscribe, like. That shit will come back up into your feed when it happens. But I did like what he did, and I think he'll get into another camp pre-World Cup. I think he's going to get another chance. He's the kind of player Pochettino loves. Works hard off the ball. Really lovely taken goal. Again, I don't know about his link-up play. He isn't the type of player who's willing to get into these little half spaces that I was talking about, who's going to drive with the ball, really. He wants to receive in the final third. That's the kind of player that he is. But I was pleasantly surprised by him. I mean, I haven't even looked at these numbers, but super strong by the numbers, 34 of 38 passing. He wasn't wasteful in possession. He didn't do a whole lot, like only 2 passes into the final third, 3 touches in the opposition box. He did what he needed to do and it counted. But 5 of 8 ground duels won. I like a lot. He drew a lot of fouls, 4 fouls, 2 recoveries. I mean, I don't know how these stats are true. I know he had multiple interceptions. Like, I'm never really too certain that any of those stats are true. but really like the way that he worked hard throughout the match. And again, the couple of times he's played for the U.S., I think he's a strong player. He offers something. I don't know how he gets himself into the World Cup squad, but nonetheless, a player puts in a performance, deserves praise, and it deserves another opportunity. And I would be surprised if we don't see him again before the World Cup. I think he is a player that Pochettino has some feelings about. Moving on to Tyler Adams, who in this formation is such a much more comfortable player in possession. He just is. He's not comfortable having to be the player who drops in here. And I've been talking about it forever. Like when we're doing, let's go to this one. Yeah, here it is. When this is the situation we're trying to do, what ends up happening is Adams doesn't drop in. These players have to get a little bit wider. He's here. And then you've got this weird kind of it turns into kind of a bit of a box. Des kind of keeps trying to get wide, or whoever this player is. It's been McGlynn at times. If it's Berhalter, then you've got this weird lack of courageous passing that's going on. These players end up having to get super narrow. Reeman Richards, that is. So Adams is a lot more comfortable here. And that makes sense. He's not a deep-lying playmaker. He's not I'm going to zing the ball all over the place. He's a vertical passer, and as we saw in this board, it's a little bit out of whack now, but let's just get back to it for a second. When, it ends up being this little bit deeper here, and Adams is able to get the ball in this pocket, so he's not so central, but he's actually able to get the ball here, his version of what Pulisic does. So let's say the ball comes in from the other side, and Adams gets the ball here. What he does is he looks for vertical passes, and I thought he did a really nice job of finding Freeman a couple times over the top. They didn't always connect, but it keeps the defense honest. It keeps them honest that they have to be wary of that ball coming in over the top. And you know what? What happens the next time? Freeman makes a little darting run. This player starts to step back. It allows Zendejas to pop in. It allows Freeman to drop back. It allows Tyler Adams to dribble into space a little bit more. It allowed one time for Freeman to come in and pick the ball up here and drive inside. So it keeps the defense honest, and that's where Tyler Adams is a lot better in possession, and it showed in this match. He was world better than he was in that match against South Korea, as was everybody. So, obviously take everything with a grain of salt. When one player's better, a lot of players end up being better. But just by the numbers, 40 of 44 passing for Tyler Adams, 3 of 5 accurate on long balls, like I was mentioning, just a lot more consistent in that as well. And 4 passes into the final third. I would be surprised if that didn't all top what he did in the last game, and we can quickly take a look at it. But it would surprise me if that's not better than all those. Yeah, 1 of 2 accurate long balls in that match. So he just wasn't as comfortable playing vertical, and that's, if you watch the video I did on his performance against Liverpool, he showed in that match what he likes to do, playing the ball vertically. That's where he's more comfortable. Quickly. He wants to create quick transitions, not necessarily those mini ones that we were talking about. Alex Freeman, as I just mentioned. Listen, I've been giving Alex Freeman props for longer than anybody I know. Not to be patting myself on the back, but again, I'm sure there's going to be haters from this match. And if you look at FOTMob, which is, these ratings are completely irrelevant. I just use it for the stats because they keep stats. I don't look at these player ratings. I mean, who cares about them? Alex Freeman was good. He's a strong, wide 1v1 defender. He showed that against Matoma towards the end of the match. He wants to try things. He wants to push forward. I love when he adds that inverted run into his game, like when he's willing to drive into the center of the pitch like I was showing here. When he's willing to take this run this way, it just completely changes the game. It just opens everything up because then you get so many different options. You get this player coming in tight. It opens up this wing. It just completely changes the way that we can play. And I think the main factor to realize from this is going to be Serginho Dest. And when he's doing that, it's going to turn into a lot of goals when he gets that kind of space. But I'd love to see Freeman do that a little bit more. His crossing also needs a little bit of work. I think he's a little bit too indecisive in his crossing. I think sometimes he's just hitting it because that's his only option. He's not trying to pick somebody out. I think other times he's too reliant on this little kind of clipped over the top ball. He needs to work on his kind of getting that ball in quickly with a little zip and accuracy. Crossing is a big thing for him to work on, especially if we're going to go to this little bit of a wider positioning for him. He's another player who I think, can play in that right center back in this position, like when we're talking about 4 at the back or however you want to spin it. So if he were to start at right back at 4 in the back, obviously that puts Richards back in the center back position, but I'm sure that will happen again. I think Alex Freeman could do pretty well there as well. I also think he would pair better with a right forward or whatever position you want to call this, because it's not really a right winger, but I think you would pair better with somebody who's willing to get a little bit wider. So I felt that throughout this match, Zendejas is not super comfortable at like hugging the touchline, which meant Freeman had to be this wider player, and that is the plan. But if there's a Weah or a Haji Wright playing on this right side who are willing to get a little bit wider, it allows for this kind of interchanging of runs. That's super interesting to me as well. That's probably Weah, who's that player. I think Malik Tillman could do it, but Malik Tillman also really likes to be in the interior. So we'll have to see on Alex Freeman, but I think it speaks volumes that Freeman's in this camp and Joe Scally's not. I'm not saying I agree with it or anything. I'm just telling you what I think it means, and that's that Alex Freeman is on the inside right now. Alex Freeman is a player that Pochettino likes. We saw it this summer. We wanted to see more of him. He liked what he saw tonight for sure. It'll be interesting to see. That October camp is going to be an interesting squad because there are some positions where I wish we had more options, and then there's some positions like right back where it's like, okay, do you bring Dest, Freeman, Robinson, Arfston, and then Joe Scally's on the outside looking in? Is Joe Scally a center back option? It's an interesting conversation. I didn't want to talk too much about Christian Roldan. He was just 3 steps slower than the rest of the team, rest of the people on the pitch. That's the last time you're going to see him for the U.S. men's national team in this World Cup window. I mean, I've never seen a player so quickly receive the ball and turn and pass backwards every single time in my life. Every single time, without fail. No need for that. No one needs him in the squad. Congratulations on getting 90 minutes or whatever. He played 85 minutes. Roldan, and we'll see you never. Matt Freese, I just wanted to give a special mention to as well. Spectacular. Some really, really good saves in this match. I think his positioning is very much a strong suit of his game. He's got pretty solid reactions. I mean, the playing with the feet are not great. We know that, but hey, listen, 6 saves. You know, that's we're not going to be complaining about that at all. 5 of those on shots inside the box. I mean, in another world, this could have been 6-5 this game. There were plenty of goal-scoring opportunities, but Matt Freese kept a clean sheet. Quickly on some of the subs. I mentioned Dest already, but I just really like the fact that we got to see Dest at left back. Pochettino knows that Dest can do both. And by the way, how good was he at left back? My God. Just created so much from that left back position. And I think him and Ream work really nicely there together. Ream's ability to be way out here, passing with his left foot, right? But if he brings it into Dest, Dest can also cut in on the right foot. So it varies the passing angles that we have from this left side of the pitch when you have a lefty and a righty who can work so well together. And then obviously Dest's interplay with Pulisic, Balogun, whoever's in this spot is something that is really exciting to see. So the fact that Dest is seen as a potential left back option, I mean, listen, Pochettino loves Arfston. I'm not saying Arfston's anywhere but in the squad right now. He is in the squad. He's going to be in the squad in October. He's going to continue to be in the squad unless something crazy happens. This is a player that's played as much for Pochettino as anybody. I don't know the numbers, but my guess would be him and Ream have played more minutes for Pochettino than anybody else. That would be my guess. And I think I'd probably be right. Who else we got? Jack McGlynn. I'm going to keep talking about Jack McGlynn over and over again and over and over again and over and over again until he gets what he deserves, which is a spot in this squad. There's nobody else who has that bit of magic, that ball striking, both passing and shooting, but ball striking extraordinaire. Major tournaments are won with ball striking. Go watch the Euros from last summer, 2 summers ago, 2024, last summer. Go watch the Euros from last summer. Go watch the World Cup from 2022. Ball striking wins major tournaments. A player like him can turn a game on its head with one singular touch. You cannot quantify that. That's a quality that we need to have. And the fact that he can play, we saw him a little bit at right wing. He can play in midfield. He's just a game changer, man. I like to have game changers. Throw one game changer in the squad, even if he doesn't play. Just the fact that you'll have the option if you need it. He's in for me right now. Love Jack McGlynn. I know stamina is a question mark. I know position's a question mark. I don't know how he fits in just yet. I will know for the tiers, stock up, stock down, squad watch video that's coming in a couple of days. So make sure to tune in for that one when it gets posted, and I'll have an answer for you then. But right now, I just know I want Jack McGlynn. Maybe that'll change by Thursday when I record that video, but right now I want Jack McGlynn. Lastly, on this team, Damian Downs, I have been impressed by every time he's played for the U.S. men's national team. I will continue to say that he is the third striker option over Josh Sargent. If Josh Sargent is in another squad before this World Cup, I was just surprised he was in this one. He just doesn't have it, man. He just doesn't have what it takes for the U.S. men's national team. He hasn't scored since 2019. You can't bring a player who hasn't scored for your nation in 7 years to the World Cup. And we can debate back and forth all day, but the facts are plain and simple. He has not scored in 7 years. He has not looked remotely close to scoring, really, in that time. It's been a lot of missed opportunities from close in. It's been a lot of getting 11, 12 touches in a match and trying to score from a couple of those. He's a low-volume shooter who's dependent on outdoing his expected goals. I don't think there's a space for that in this squad. We need players who can be game changers. And the thing about Damian Downs that I love is he's a great substitution for any game state. You're chasing a match, throw Damian Downs on beneath your striker as a channel runner who can help knock balls down and then be a big body in the box. You need to chase a goal? Bring on Damian Downs. I'm sorry, you need to protect the lead? Bring on Damian Downs as your number 9, and he'll try and win long balls, retain possession, create two-man fast breaks like he did in this match. Things that Josh Sargent just doesn't do. Those aren't his profiles. Like, Josh Sargent is a great striker in the championship. I've never tried to take that away from him at all. I'm not discrediting any of his goals in the championship. But there's no space for him in this squad over, obviously, Balogun and Pepe, and not over Damian Downs. There just isn't. Plain and simple, in the last 3 months, one player has been very good for the U.S. men's national team. One player has been very bad. Neither of them have scored. But so then you measure, what are they offering not scoring? And Damian Downs is offering more. I don't know what else to say. That's what it is to me. That's the wrap-up on this match, on this international break. For now, great win. A win that we very much needed. Again, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Throw me a like on this video. Comment down below what you want to hear more about. Do you like this tactical analysis? It seems like people do. Do you want me to do more? Like, what do you want from me in the non-international breaks? If you guys could tell me, that would be great. I like to do certain things, but I'm also like, I want to have this be a community where people are giving their input on what they want to hear, what they want to see. Do they like what I see with my eyes? Would they rather me just report the facts on what happens? Like, what I'm planning on doing, obviously, this is Tuesday night. This is going to go live, Tuesday night Eastern time. On Thursday night or Friday morning, it's likely going to be, not likely, Thursday night or Friday morning, I'm going to release that squad video. Who's in my squad as of after this international break for the World Cup. So that's going to be the stock up, stock down one. But then we've got a few weeks to the next international break. Did you like my video about midfielders by breaking down Cardoso, Tessman, and Adams' performances and how that can do for the U.S. men's national team? Do you like that type of content? What type of content do you want? I know I'm rambling, but seriously, I'm very happy about this community we're building here. You know, we're almost at 2,500 subs. Thank you guys all so much. I think that's the number we're almost at, or 2,400 subs. Whatever it is, not really that important, but there are people who share my passion about this, who want to talk about what's actually happening on the pitch rather than, you know, the drama of the U.S. men's national team. It sucks. The fan, like, yeah, that's all annoying, but like, at the end of the day, we're watching the match to see what's going on. And I think it's a really important part of growing the sport in this country is people understanding the nuances, and I'm trying to describe that and bring that to people who have a similar passion for the team. So please let me know what you're interested in. I know I just rambled. We're on 30-ish minutes here, probably some editing, so probably a 28-minute video. But I love it. I'm having a great time. Hit that subscribe button. This is Yanks Abroad, and you'll hear from me on Friday morning. Peace.